Okay, so this is a multiple allele problem, but they're giving us a break from the blood types, and we're looking at coat color in mice, but with a bit of a wrinkle. There's three different alleles here, and they call them D1, D2, and D3. And D1 is what they call full color, which I believe is a like dark brown. D2 is dilute color, which I believe means lighter brown. And D3 is a weird one. If you have a D1 or D2 with a D3, then this doesn't matter and you just get one of the other coat colors. If you have D3, D3, they don't say what it does to your coat color, but you actually die. You're stillborn. This causes, in addition to affecting the fur color, apparently, it affects something about organ development. And if you have double D3, your organs don't develop properly, and you have a, as soon as you're born, you can't survive outside of your mother. So, death. They say this allele is deadly when homozygous. So, a single D3 is all right because this other one will determine your coat color and also keep you alive. But if you have double D3s, you will not survive. When they say order of dominance like this is like math where they're saying D1 is greater than D2 is greater than D3. So that means D1 dominates over, or it's stronger than D2, and that's stronger than D3 is. We knew that from the numbers, but they're emphasizing it here. So now, actually, before we get into the question, just let me get the genotypes out here. If you're full color, there are a few ways that could happen. You could be D1, D1, that's full color. You could be D1, D2, because it doesn't matter, the D2 doesn't matter, it'll get overridden by the D1. Or you could be D1, D3. Any one of those is a full color mouse. If you're dilute, you could be D2, D2. That's one way to get dilute color. Or you could be D2, D3. And if a mouse is stillborn, you know what must have happened. It must be D3, D3. They don't even say what coat color this produces, but if a baby mouse dies, this is probably the reason. Or in this problem, there's probably other reasons, but the only combination that would produce stillbirth like this is D3, D3. So here they say, when a full color male is mated to a dilute color female, the offspring are produced in the following ratio. Let's see what we got here. Full color male is trouble because we don't know what this second allele is. This just tells us dad is D1 and then something. And it could be literally any of the three. For mom, the offspring is produced in the, or sorry, dilute color female. Mom is D2 something. D2 and I know this isn't D1 because that would be the wrong order, but it could be a 2 or it could be a 3. Either one of those would be consistent with what we're seeing. And so we cross those two mice and they say that we get some full color, 2 full color, we get 1 dilute, and we get 1 dead. From that, can we figure out the parents? Now, we could do this with a ton of trial and error and a lot of Punnett squares, but this one works better if we deal with it more like a pedigree problem, and that's how I'm going to approach it here. Pedigree we'll get into a lot more later, but I think I can make this make sense. We're just going to use the genotypes and some deductive reasoning to figure out what these parents were. But let's start looking at the kids. If these kids are full color, what do we know about them? They have to be D1 something. We don't know what the something is, and that's bothersome, but we'll live with it for now. This kid is dilute. which means they're D2 something. D2 blank. Okay, that's not super illuminating either. This one is dead. And while that's a little bit sad, it also is very helpful to us because it tells us what this genotype must be. The only way this one could possibly have died like that is if its genotype is D3, D3. Now, do you see why that's a big deal when it comes to figuring out the rest of the family? If your genotype is D3, D3, anytime you have two chromosomes like this, like most of us do, one of them came from your dad and one of them came from your mom. And that means one of these D3s had to have come from dad. He must have one here. The other one had to come from mom. She must have it also. The only way this mouse happens is if dad contributes a D3 and so does mom. So now we've got both of their genotypes. That's a lot of information from one little mouse. So now we've got both of their genotypes. Is that all they wanted or is there more? Oh, that's it. Indicate the genotypes of the parents. So in a question like this with a lot of offspring, be patient. There's going to be a lot of blanks, and it's tempting to guess here or try to fill something in that you don't technically know. Don't do it. Hang in there. Generally, there'll be some part of the problem like this where you'll get the important facts you need that can crack the thing open. So if you have some blanks, just grit your teeth and keep on going for a bit. Hopefully, there'll be some kind of clue in here, like this mouse, that will enable you to finish it. When you're doing a problem like this, there are some traits like full color that are not all that helpful because there's so many different ways they can happen. And there are some traits that are really valuable, like typo, blood, or in this case, a dead mouse, where we know exactly what the genotype is. And that's the kind of information that can help you get started. Should we have started over here and gotten through the thing sooner? Yeah, maybe. But I wanted to go through this and show you that these do happen and that you can survive them. Just write down what you definitely know. Don't make any assumptions if you can help it, and just be steady. And hopefully something like this will happen that'll crack the case.